I forgot about him for a minute, and then he tried to follow me on Twitter a couple months ago, and then that's when I screenshotted it, and I was like, "There's no way he's bad."
As for what he exactly did, look at the threads. That tells the story in whole. Constant harassment, stalking, plagiarizing, impersonating, identity theft. The whole thing was just chaos. Pure, raw, and sinister chaos.
I had a friend in high school who was shot and killed, and so Keyunna, whenever they got upset, they said, "Oh yeah, that's not what your dead friend said." After I can't even read that. I don't even want to read that.
Yeah, I was kind of just sick of them continuously dodging people, and at the same time, they would just, claim that, oh, I beat everybody, so I'm just like, alright. And I just went out and made the video, kind of just, calling them out completely.
So I'm gonna put this simply. Either you get in the ring and you fight me, or shut the fuck up.
Because I wasn't on his side when he was taking people's clips, and then he started doing some weird stuff. The next thing you know, he's taking my clips, my Twitch banner, and all that. It was just like a lot of unnecessary drama that didn't need to happen.
But he had like this Flame King Leon phase where eventually he started saying he would burn his haters, and that's when things went too far.
You know, back when I was starting out my competitive Smash journey, I didn't want much. I wanted to be one of the best wolves in my state. I wanted to be a Smash streamer. I wanted to compete and do well at locals. I wanted to make decent montages. Typical Smasher goals. Regardless of how I did it, I never took shortcuts. I was always authentic with who I was. If I took a loss, I accepted it regardless of if I agreed I was outplayed or not. I always tried to arrange times with those I would play with and make sure it worked for everyone involved. But sometimes, there will be people who will try to take shortcuts, dodge other people, and just overall be an asshole. And today, we will be discussing one of those people. Keyunna Burt, also known as Yuki, Kokoro, the Anime Kid, Leon, or whatever the fuck he wants to go by now, is a 26-year-old Marthmaid from Wisconsin. He has a notorious reputation in online Smash for being a coward and dodging people, insulting and harassing others, and being a constant liar. In this video, we're going to look into the online history of Keyunna Burt and hopefully get the word out to others about him. So, sit back, grab a snack, and enjoy this documentary of sorts, because this is going to be a long one. Before I start this video, I want to say this. Please do not go and harass Keyunna or anyone mentioned in this video. This video is only meant to document and call out Keyunna's behavior and provide a solution from there. I also want to say that this is not a complete history of all the stuff Keyunna has done. There will be some past interactions and events that this video may not cover. There will also be future events that may not be covered since Keyunna will undoubtedly start more drama. Due to the amount of posts and drama involving Keyunna, I won't be able to include them in this video. This is the info I was able to gather with the resources and connections I have. There may be an update video in the future if this video does well and if people request it. So the first thing I want to look into is Keyunna's profile on Twitter. This should give us a rough idea of the person we're looking at. Well shit. If only I had another account to look at his profile. Oh wait, I do. By the way, Keyunna, you must not know what object permanence is. Just because you blocked me when I initially put out the tweet saying I'm looking for people to interview for the video doesn't stop me from coming out with the video, or that I don't exist. Anyway, looking at the profile, 3 things stick out to me. The first is that Keyunna has Asperger's. Now, while this doesn't excuse anything we're going to talk about, it gives somewhat of an idea as to why he acts the way he does. As you'll soon see, once is an accident, twice is a habit, and 3 times is a pattern. So when I see them in screenshots displaying protagonist syndrome, I have a slight clue as to why. The second thing I want to look at is him claiming to be the best Marth in Wisconsin. Editor's note, he doesn't have the title of best Marth in his bio at the time of me recording this, but he has tried to claim that title in the past, as well as claiming to be Wisconsin's best player overall. This is a blatant lie. If you look at PG stats, it will show that Keyunna is at the bottom of the list with a 25% win rate and 0 top 8s. And even if you look at the tourney he's participated in, He's negative in set count in 2 tourneys he's entered. So, you might want to take Wisconsin's best smart out of your bio. Hell, I don't even play Smash Bros. Competitively consistently anymore, and my stats are better than yours. Like, dude, come on, be real. The last little thing I want to point out is that he claims to play for a team called Apocalypse Esports. I've looked on the Twitter page that Keyunna was talking about, but as far as I searched, I couldn't find a roster for the team. Now, I'm not saying that Keyunna is lying here, but until I can find a roster, or if Keyunna wants to prove me wrong, I don't believe he's on any team. So where can we start with the case of Keyunna? We can start with March 9th, 2021, when Keyunna reached out to ask about trying out for my old mock crew, which was my first interaction with him. I told him that the team would be hosting tryouts the week after, and to join the crew's Discord server and go from there. Now, in addition to him asking to try out, he also sent 2 Marth montages. Now, at the time, I didn't bother to watch them, and looking back, it's probably good that I didn't. When I go back to watch those montages, they're now unavailable. There is a reason for that, and we'll get into it with time. But at the time, I didn't see or sense anything wrong with Keyunna. A few months later, on May 18, 2021, Keyunna would continue searching for teams to join, joining the server for Team Blitz, another crew. He wanted to try out for Melee, but TBZ didn't have a Melee team at the time. As an alternative, members such as Storm and Gamer John said they would be willing to train Keyunna on Ultimate. He got his Switch, and Keyunna took to the idea. By the way, remember these 2, they will be important as we go along. Looking at the interactions in the server, the members of TBZ had good interactions with Keyunna, jokingly calling him a goat and Keyunna saying that he isn't, uplifting Keyunna when he says he's depressed because people talk trash about his mark. There will be reason for that later on, trust me. Even when Keyunna quit out of a match, they try to tell him that quitting isn't how you improve, and members offer to help Keyunna to improve by offering to do VOD reviews and coach him. Everything seemed to be going peachy in the TBZ server. May 29, 2021. 11 days. That's how long it took for shit to hit the fan in the TBZ server. A new member of the TBZ server who wanted to try out said that Keyunna was being mean to them and telling them that they couldn't be on the team. One of the leaders of TBZ, Sock, countered the tryout's claim by saying Keyunna told them that the tryout was bullying Keyunna and calling his mark terrible. The tryout responded to that by saying Keyunna harassed them to play them and provided a screenshot of Keyunna calling one of the tryout's friends the R word on Twitter, which isn't a good look. Sock added proof of DMs between the tryout and Keyunna, with some back and forth between the 2, with the tryout telling Keyunna that his smart plays are bad and Keyunna calling the tryout a hater. The tryout responds to those DMs saying that they told Keyunna to stop contacting them, and when asked by Sock why they didn't block Keyunna, they said that they did and Keyunna went to Twitch and whispered to them. After seeing this, the tryout and Sock went into a call together, and while I don't know what was said in that call, it did lead to Keyunna being banned from the server about an hour later. The aftermath of the incident with Keyunna and TBZ mostly consisted of people saying that Keyunna was an asshole, he blocked people, harassed others, and was an overall toxic person. And everyone moved on for Keyunna after that. But this is how it looked from the outside looking in. How was it inside? Well, I managed to talk to a couple of the leaders of TBZ to get their side of the story, and this is what I got.
I'm Toxie. I'm one of the people who started the TBZ server. We used to be like sort of an SCS, like Smash based server, which we still do. We still do like summits, in-person summits every year. We had like pretty successful like online tournaments. I mean, they were free, but we were getting like maybe 60 people for each like monthly. We were able to get like it's more like general gaming now, but for a long time, especially during COVID, it was like mostly Smash Online that it was focused about.
I'm Mish. I know Yuki from TBZ, the online crew. They tried joining. We like knew them for like a day. It's just I don't have much connection to the situation. It's just I've interacted with them through social media and stuff.
How did you first hear about Yuki?
I don't know who this was. I don't think it was me though. They were messaging Yuki through Twitter, and Yuki was talking about trying to join TBZ because at that time when we were doing SCS, you had like it was a very loose tryout process. Like you would play against one of the testers, and the tester would see if you like were competent or not. So it wasn't really a how like are you good enough to be on the team, or was more so like, are you good? And
Mhm.
it was a very like low bar to cross. But they were DMing one of our testers in Twitter. So they said, okay, how about this? If you beat me in a first to 5, you get to. Oh, this was Team Favicon. You get to beat me. You beat me in a first to 5, you get to join Team Favicon with all new benefits. If I beat you, then I win. So Favicon, we sort of partnered with them, and they were a TBZ Yuki at this point. Like they had tried it out, and they were good.
My first question was how you first heard about them. Is that they tried to join and try out for the Melee team on Blitz?
There was a Melee team, but I think they tried out for Ultimate.
Oh, so that was like your first like wave. You got introduced to them. It's like they came into your server. It's like, hey, I want to try out for the Ultimate team.
Yeah.
They're in somebody's stream as they're like streaming Smash. UK is just up on that, and they're sending like tweets, like tweet links in the stream chat. And it's funny to see how it's like TBZ_Yuki, and like, oh damn, TBZ's attached to this for a while because it just like came out of nowhere. Like we didn't see it. They started sending like tweets. I don't know what it is. I'm sure the account's gone, so I can't go see those. Our person said, "Who is this?" And then a long list of messages in the stream chat. Read my damn tweet. I want a Smash Bros. Melee rematch Saturday for the best Marth title. And then our person again said, "Who's this?" And then Yuki said, "Yuki, the person you called a terrible Marth to on Discord, the person you beat and embarrassed in our last Melee match, stop fucking playing and accept my rematch." And then our person said, don't care, go away, lol. Not worth my time." And then Yuki said, "Coward, chicken, I'm not letting this go." Send another tweet. Our person said, "Okay." They said, "I called you a coward because you blocked me." Our person said, "Don't care, didn't ask. Please do not contact me any further. Have a nice day." And then Yuki immediately continued replying, "Okay, fine, coward, bully, jerk." I sent another tweet link. Which now says Yuki SSBU, so I assumed this was a different day after, because we had like kicked them from TVZ, so maybe this was a different day, which is even crazier that this is not immediately after they came back. So the Twitter links they're sending are basically timestamping it, practically, because they're showing they did this. Somebody sent it to us from Twitch. We banned them, and then they kept doing it. They got a different username. They kept going. "So our match is tomorrow night. Ready to get your ass kicked by the best Marth?" And then our person says, "It was supposed to be tonight." And then Yuki says, "I will be there. I'm busy right now." I guess they had agreed to do Melee or something. They tried to join Favicon after we kicked them from TBZ, which was kind of funny because Favicon at the time was bigger than TBZ. So, like, to leave TBZ and then be like, "I'm gonna join the bigger one." Like, okay.
You say that don't even make sense. Like we're connected to it, and pretty sure that's a harder one to get into. So
Yeah, they, like, at the peak, they had, like, one or two really good... I don't remember who exactly they had, but they had, like, one of the top Robs or something. They almost had Peanut.
It started off as just, we, like, looked at their social media and, like, see, like, the kind of stuff they post and the kind of things they said, like, becoming the best Marth and all that. Like, oh my gosh. Like, there's such big aspirations to, like, just not really much to, like, prove that they can actually do it. And then they're like kind of, like, rude to some people. And we asked them about it. And then they started getting mean to everyone in the crew. So, yeah, I think we kicked them off, like, a day after he joined.
Oh wow! So
yeah,
it was mainly kind of like you just like digging through because he's like, you know, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be the best Marvin, and you saw some things when you confronted him about it, he started getting, you know, like fancy,
a little defensive, a little upset.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
And he would never really improve. I'm just gonna make it blatant. He was ass, very ass. So it went to the point he would steal clips, pretend to be someone who he wasn't. I know a couple people who he has done that to.
Just to clarify, I think another one of my questions. They haven't harassed you in any way, right?
I don't think so, no. I think at that time we had made like one or two. We had made like sort of like make jokes about the situation being like, "Wow, that was crazy," but it would be like we would post like a picture of a goat and then like I don't know, we'd have like Yuki written over it, be like, "Ah, that was funny," and then after all this happened, we like quote tweet and be like, let's take that back or something. Like just like
Mhm.
stupid stuff. So we had done that. I had made jokes about it. It's not like I had stayed out of it, but it was like I think most other people got the brunt of it.
I mean, I kind of wasn't like talking to them. Like, I was just kind of like a fly on the wall when everything happened. But
Mhm.
like, we still like knew each other. We still like talked like a little bit. We aren't like friends by any means, but like,
Okay.
I remember I found them on Instagram and I followed them, and then they like messaged me immediately asking, "Why did you follow me?" They were like, "Answer my question." I said, "Sorry, I haven't had much time to respond." 'Cause I wanted to know. I like just checked in on them, see how they were doing, because I didn't know like all the bad stuff they've said at that exact time. It's just,
Mhm.
and once I learned, I learned.
No, not directly harass me, but he has done it to others.
Because it was more like he was harassing my friend, so I got to step in type of situation.
More or less, yes.
Just to be clear, like it didn't like affect you, like any like your following or like your well-being anyway, right?
I don't think so. I think for the first couple people, when it seemed like it was only happening to them, it might have felt for a little bit like they might have felt like really uncomfortable on the internet for like maybe a day or two. But yeah, no, it because it was so clear that this person was doing weird things, and it didn't really feel like you were doing. It was clear that you weren't doing anything wrong. It was just them doing something that made like no sense.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a moment where I was like, "What is happening? Are people seeing this?" It was like the only people who like were on Yuki's side was when Yuki would like tweet, and then the replies were like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry for you," just because they don't know. Not that it's their fault, but it's like, how are they supposed to know that this person's like, what actually is happening is so nonsensical.
No, it was just like little back and forths, like nothing aggressive, nothing mean, just like quick little words back and forth in a server, and that's pretty much it.
No, it wasn't. It was more of a big inconvenience.
Okay, big inconvenience. Okay, I get that. I get that. Months later, on August 5th, 2021, I will have a conversation with the melee leader of my mock crew, Nautilus. As mentioned earlier, Keyunna wanted to try for my mock crew, specifically the new melee side of it. Nautilus said he had played Keyunna before, so it wouldn't take long to test him. Keyunna was also Nautilus's biggest fan at this time. For what reason, I wish I knew. The next day, Nautilus updated me on Keyunna's status. He made the team, but not really. Let me explain. Nautilus said that he was tutoring Keyunna, and if he showed improvement, he will fully be on the team. He was a player in training, you could say. Anyway, after talking about Keyunna, I told Nautilus that I was just bending ultimates out of my mock crew and that would help him with the melee side when needed. Fast forward 1 month to September 9th, 2021, one of the members of TBZ, Storm, posted a highlight on Instagram about Keyunna. Storm starts by telling people to not follow Keyunna, mainly because he is egotistical, and also calling Keyunna out for stealing someone else's clip. In the highlights, Keyunna posts a Marth clip, and Storm confronts Keyunna about it in DM, saying that he knows that isn't him. Keyunna immediately gets defensive and says he'll block Storm since Storm doesn't believe the clip is Keyunna's. Storm tells Keyunna that he didn't say he didn't believe him, but he had to call him out, and that he would be willing to help Keyunna out. Keyunna admits that he stole the clip and tells Storm to not tell anyone about him stealing the clip. Storm also shows a familiar screenshot. Yep, the same screenshot that contributed to Keyunna getting kicked from TBC, him calling someone the R word. Something funny to me that was posted to the highlight was that someone tried to defend Keyunna using the R word by saying that he's autistic, and tries to compare it to black people saying the N word. As a black dude, I can comfortably say that shit is not the same. At all. Black people are taking the N word and changed the meaning behind it. We went from having a racist slur to something we call each other every day with no issues. You don't hear people with special needs throwing the R word around like black people do with the N word because they aren't the same. I'm getting off track. Where was I? Oh yeah, Storm. The Keyunna defender and Storm go back and forth for a bit, and Storm decides to leave the conversation. The last part of the highlight shows a screenshot from someone else, with Keyunna saying he reported and blocked them and telling the person that tells Storm that Storm hates Keyunna so much, Storm should fight him. I asked Storm some questions for further input on what Keyunna did to him, and here's his response.
When I first heard about them I wanna say it was either Twitter or Instagram but I'ma say IG. 2. They would always challenge people to fight but would back out at the last second, and the people they did fight, myself included, they would block. Then they would try to make it seem like their opponent was a bad person who harassed them. They always tried to be seen in a higher light and squash other people in the community. They also stole other people's clips and tried to pass them on as their own. 3. They kinda harassed me, it was more of just saying I'm a coward. I have a highlight thing on my profile showing screenshots of what they have said. 4. Honestly, the harassment didn't last long since I had other Smash Brothers community members at the time who defended me and had my back, so they shut Yuki down and dissolved whatever Yuki said about me.
As if being dropped from TBZ or having to follow up with the team wasn't enough, Keyunna would eventually be dropped from my old mock crew as well. On that same day, Nautilus would post something about Keyunna getting dropped from the crew, and I wondered why. Nautilus tells me that's because Keyunna called someone the R-word for outplaying them and being egotistical. And by the way, you want to know what Keyunna's reasoning for calling someone R-word on Twitter was? He was being bullied. Harsh words, sure, but bullying? That's a stretch for me. Or maybe he was being bullied by some other people, I don't know. Regardless, Nautilus dropped Keyunna from the team, was telling other people about Keyunna and what he did. You can see our response to the situation from there. This was what made me see that Keyunna was problematic. Congratulations, you made it through the first act. But ladies and gentlemen, we have only just peeked into the Keyunna Burt rabbit hole. Stick around, because now we're about to step down into the hole. And trust me, it only gets deeper and darker. Grab some spelunking gear, because you are going to need it.